I'd like to call the Commissioners meeting of August 27th, 2014 to order. First on the agenda is public input. Anybody have any public input? Yes, Ed?
At a Brookfield Selectmen's meeting last night, there was discussion about having a shredding event, which is an event where people can bring all their documents in and have it shredded. And I was thinking, once the cease and desist order is removed off the county to shred documents, perhaps we could do a county-wide event, so all the towns within our region can come in and do a shredding event. And I was just wondering what you thought of that, and would you think that would be a possible thing?
I guess it could be. I guess we had talked about hiring a company to come in with a truck to do the shredding of stuff that we have. I don't know. I don't have any problem if the towns want to come in and shred their stuff with our shredder.
Because usually if a town, like Brookfield's small, so we have a lot now, but if we can combine our efforts for shredding, then usually those companies don't charge you because you have a volume. Usually they require a certain volume of documents. Mm-hmm. But if we all got together and then each town could bring their documents to one place.
Yeah.
And it could also start the conversation again about policy retention, about document retention and how that's handled.
Yeah, yeah. Good point.
Thank you.
We'll consider that when we get to that point.
And that point seems to be a ways off.
I don't know. I think we're talking probably too far ahead, but it's worth considering.
Do the minutes.
I don't have the minutes.
Two sets. 20th.
Do you have an extra copy?
Yep. 20th and the 13th.
We did the 13th, didn't we?
No, those are the ones I went home last week and did them real quick.
Oh, that's the one you finished up
I watched the video,
yeah,
but there hadn't been
yeah.
minutes on that one. So.
No. I didn't. I got my 13 downstairs.
Here.
I think, unless I get them up here. The only thing I can remember was one typographical error.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's one on that.
Me too.
I'd like to make a correction under, on page 2, on the heading union. It says the board received notice on behalf of the nursing home collective bargaining agreement. I wanted to change it to unit.
It should have been unit.
It should, you know, they received notice from the unit of their intent to negotiate.
Okay.
Rather than agreement, because that doesn't make sense.
Okay. The other thing on here, do you have any idea when Commissioner Kenney showed up? You just say she wasn't present. Of course, you're not here when she comes in.
I wasn't here for this meeting.
Do you have any idea what time it was?
No, when you adjourned to non-public on the tape, she wasn't here. And then when you came back to public, she was sitting there. So
Well,
did she
it
come
was
during
like-
your session, or?
No, it was only like 8:45, somewhere in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't.
She wasn't, she didn't miss much.
Okay. I wasn't there, so I couldn't put that in.
And you're gonna make that correction on the union. Okay.
Do I hear a motion to accept, we're talking about the 13th or the
Yep,
20th?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of August 13th as corrected.
I'll second it. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Then so voted. And today is the 27th. How about August 20th?
I read them the other day, and then thank you for getting them to us early. Give us a chance to read them. That's good.
Um,
I would just like to correct, Cardelli admitted he didn't receive some answers from Babson. It wasn't some answers, he got answers to all of his questions here. May not have liked them, but he got them. Oh, here's the typo. Cardelli would also, oh no, it isn't, I'm sorry.
Why not ask Commissioner Kenney what her response is? He asked it to us.
She doesn't, this is probably a report on her attendance now.
Commissioner Kenney will be here for non-public only today,
Commissioner Kenney be here for what?
just for the non-public portion.
Did she give a reason?
Nope.
No?
That was it.
Car working?
She didn't say.
So that's 10 o'clock, I
Yes, she said
understand.
she would,
Hold
she's definitely
it.
gonna be here for 11 and she would try for 10.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Okay.
No. That was the only correction I had. I can't find, you had one small typo and I can't find it. I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of August 20th. With no corrections, I guess. You don't have any G dates?
No,
They're excellent. by the
I'll
way.
second it. Anything further on August 20th? Hearing none, all those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so voted.
While you're talking about the minutes, I just have a quick question. The past recording secretary was doing the spreadsheet of the non-public meetings.
Yes.
Remember this?
Yes.
And I found that the last one I could find was updated through the end of last year, through the end of December.
I think what you'll find, Melissa, is Michelle gave me the thumb drive with it on it.
Okay.
I didn't look at it, so I don't know what's on it, but she said it was some of the last meetings.
Okay.
The staff downstairs has it, and I'm betting the up-to-date one is on it.
Okay. So I guess my question is, I personally thought this was very valuable to help keep track of
Oh, it is.
what's going on. So would you like me to continue this, even though I'm not in the non-publics? I can tell when you had a session.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yep,
Okay,
yep.
all right, good.
And waiting, I guess we got the minutes done, right?
Yep.
We don't have the minutes for a non-public session from Commissioner Kenney. She was supposed to have them today. And they're very important, especially these.
Yeah, frankly, Mr. Chairman, I don't understand what goes through her head. We're in a suit with Mr. Comeau over 91A. We've been working as hard as we can to get the thing straightened out, and I personally think we've done a pretty good job. And now we come down to going in, she's taking the minutes again. The law clearly says we have to have a draft in 27 hours. She says, oh, no, it doesn't, and we're right back where we were, and I can understand why Ed would be upset. And I don't know. We're trying. 2 out of 3 are trying.
Well, she has claimed in the past that non-public minutes don't have to be approved the following week because they're sealed. What happens is people forget what was in the non-public minutes when they do come, and that's not right.
Well, I had Winnette send out the PowerPoint section on when the minutes are due to Mrs. Kenney last week, or Monday, I can't remember now which one it was, out of the meeting that she went to and kept talking about attending over at Madison, where they clearly say they have to be done. I don't know what we do about it. Do we relieve her of her duties and I'll take over, or we'll get Cheryl up here to do it? We can't continue this way. I mean, the law is the law, and we're trying to do it right. By having her not do it is just wrong.
I would, I'd make a motion that Commissioner Babson, from this day forward, take the minutes of a non-public session. Do I hear a second?
For discussion
discussion?
only.
Okay.
Discussion only. I guess if it came down to me, David, I'd have to do it and do it because I feel strongly about it. But I find, in the words of Peter Okla back about 6 years ago, I don't see how we can take notes and at the same time be thinking about what we're told, be trying to figure out what we do. Non-publics are usually meetings that are information that's very important that we know from A to Z what's going on. I would prefer to have someone like Cheryl do it, or Winnette, so that I can sit here and try to figure out the facts of a case. If it comes down to I'm the only one, yes, I'll take it, but I'd rather not.
If you withdraw your second,
I'll withdraw my second.
Withdraw my motion, but I think it's a good idea that you're suggesting that Cheryl take just the non-public, because she is a full-time employee of the county.
I think it was even one of the recommendations of the
Matrix?
matrix. I'm not sure, I don't have it in front of me, but I think it
No,
was.
that was to take the minutes, period.
Oh, okay, okay. So why don't we ask her if she's willing to do it?
Well, it's a time commitment for her,
Yes, it is.
you know,
But she's on the clock.
like there's only 2 of them down there now.
She may not get her other work done, but as I pointed out to Mr. Pennington yesterday, we have 3 people in that office down there. 2 of them have 5 weeks vacation apiece. That's a total of 10 weeks. And last week, or what did I say? I counted them up in the month of August. To date, we've had a full office 3 days or 4 days. I have them marked on my calendar.
Mhm.
And it isn't because they're calling in sick. It's they have vacation day and they're entitled to it.
Yeah.
And how we can say that we're well-staffed down there when 2/3 of them some days aren't there is beyond me.
Well, more importantly, we don't have any fund where we could hire someone else to replace them
True.
while they're on vacation. But yet the job's got to get done. All right, let's move on. Jason Henry, you're on for this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Actually, I think Jason wasn't planning to come in, except I asked him to come in with his request for the, fix the roof.
Yep.
With his questions.
Oops, sorry. So I put together a report and got some stuff on here anyway, so.
It's my understanding that Mr. Taylor or Tyler from Excel is going to also give you a quote.
Who's that?
Yeah, the Excel, the man that's going to do the work on the nursing
On
home.
the old nursing home.
Did you reach out to him? Because that's, you were gonna reach out to them.
Yes, and so I better get back to him again and remind him that we need to do it right away.
Okay.
You haven't heard from him?
No.
Okay.
I wonder if he would, different subject, I wonder if he'd be interested in doing the probation area.
Well, he's going to give a...
Oh, is he?
He's on there when we talked to Mr. Murray this morning.
Okay.
I guess Mr. Murray isn't on there. I talked to him yesterday, and Bob said, yes, he's going to give him a quote. So.
Okay, good. All right, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Quickly report, still have 4 people on electronic monitoring, 1 person on work release, 2 transfers, total population of 50 right now. A couple of updates. We're still working with the farm and nursing home. They have been snapping beans, peeling potatoes, and shucking corn. We've been working on the garden still, haying, and delivering wood, so it seems to be going pretty well with those departments.
Jason, excuse me, can
Yeah.
we interrupt as you go along here? Would you mind?
Anytime.
Yesterday, talking to the citrus crew and the bosses over there, they're behind on their shipment of
Firewood?
firewood. They've got so many orders. They need to get more. If you can squeeze a couple extra.
Sergeant Phillips
people.
classified a couple yesterday to MSU.
Oh, okay.
Yep, yep. So there was a couple moves yesterday. I've been in contact with Will for the past week, back and forth of what's going on, and so he should be good now to have a couple extra.
Good.
I trying to keep that dialogue open with him, emails back and forth, and going over and talking with him. So.
Good, good. No, nobody was complaining. It's just that they got more orders.
Yeah.
And you know, you had 2 women over there working too. I mean, they were going
Yep.
right to the wall and trying to get the stuff done and packing the trucks and splitting more. They've done a nice job.
They have been doing a good job. The garden looks really good, so they've been doing fantastic.
The 2 ladies that have been working down there have really done a good job, haven't they?
Yes. Sergeant Phillips and I, on Saturday, attended the public safety day that was held on the complex by the Sheriff's Department. Dog demonstration was a lot of fun experience. Mr. Babson was there. It was pretty neat to see local support from the surrounding towns, between fire trucks, law enforcement, and everything else. It was pretty neat. So came up and said hello and was around for that. The nursing home has been utilizing our laundry room while the renovations are going on. It seems to be going very well.
When did that start?
This past week.
Did it?
Yep, they come over in the morning and get done what they need to get done, done by midday. Seems to be going pretty well.
Okay.
We've had no issues on either end, so it's going well.
Are you watching capacity very closely so we get some idea whether we could expand that facility or decrease it or?
The jail?
Yeah, because they're doing the nursing home stuff now. And are you able to keep up with it? No.
They're doing it. We're not doing it. They send the people that are actually doing their laundry, they actually come over and do
Well,
the laundry.
that's what I mean, but are you capable of keeping up with the quantity from the nursing home with what we have? for
Timing.
Facilities.
Probably
with jail and
timing-wise.
Timing. and-
I believe so, because the laundry that we do, sometimes we can switch our schedule. So we can do it in evening and nights and stuff like that. So it's not interfering with our operations on the laundry.
Okay.
So, we've had no
It
issues.
is a pretty good exercise, isn't it, Jason, in case we get into a situation where one of the two breaks down,
Yeah.
and we have to figure out what we're gonna do, and we don't have to figure it out overnight, because we've done it before.
Yes. And so far, knock on wood, it's been working out on both sides.
And the equipment seems to be big enough to carry the load?
The nursing home hasn't had any issues that I know of. They haven't said
Okay.
anything, so. We've also been interviewing for candidates for open officer positions this week. Seem to have a couple of good ones, and we'll continue doing that.
How many are we down?
Two officer positions, the possibility of another one, but 2 officer positions right now.
Isn't there some rumor that there'll be a couple of more gone by the end of the month, or are those the 2?
Those are the 2 that are definitely going by the end of the month. The rec yard fence has been repaired. We had some issues with that. It's all been taken care of.
Is that where the ice split it?
Yes.
How did it get fixed?
Well, the caps are welded. Those parts are welded, and also boots put on, so it won't be an issue again. The caps were never welded, so the water could get down inside.
What about the cracks that appeared?
Taken care of. They've been welded as well too.
Squeeze the fence back together and weld it?
Who did the work? Somebody outside?
Yes, there's a actual fencing company
Okay.
that came and did the work. They're the ones also gave us a quote, looked at, and said, well, that should have been welded, well, so water couldn't get down. So it should be no issues now. Just to let you know, our GD instructor, Nathan Kennison Marvin, is leaving us. He was only going to be here for 1 year anyways. He's moving on to grad school, become a lawyer. He has done a fantastic job with our offenders. Quite a few of them earned their degree through what's called HiSET. HiSET is what the state has moved to take their testing to get their degree. So he'll be sorely missed.
Didn't he go almost 90% or better on the kids that he had going through the
The
program?
last 4 that just went through, all of them passed math and their English. They all passed, and then he's still working with this next group. So he did a fantastic job. Sergeant,
Where's Nate gonna go to law school?
I'm not sure. I don't know which school he's
There's
going to.
there's no chance to get him as a part-time instructor if he's going down to Franklin Pierce, or?
No, he won't have time. Because he's school during the week, he won't have time. And this commitment was for his 1 year.
Oh, I know it was for a year.
Yeah. But Sergeant Phillips is in the process looking for a replacement, reaching out to some of the schools, reaching out to some places. So we're going to work on finding hopefully another student that's, transition in between.
Yeah, but what gave him a leg up was the fact that he'd done the same thing in eastern Pennsylvania in the correction facility down there. He was terrific with these kids.
He was great. And he's given us Sergeant Phillips some leads. So we're going to be pursuing that to find another person.
Clarify for me, the accountability. When an offender takes the test is sent someplace?
Actually, there's a person, the company, New Hampshire's one of a few states in with this company called HiSET. Somebody comes in from that company, administers the test, they're there all day long, they take the test for them, it's sent out from them to go get graded and all their criteria, and then it's sent back whether they passed or not and whether what they get. So yeah,
I didn't want it to be in-house.
No, it's all independent. And even before that with the GED, whether it was just GED, from the state, the GED people come in and test, and then they take it with them and they all get graded. So it's not in-house, us just saying.
You had no chance of automatically passing. It's always been independent.
Yeah. Okay.
But this young man has done, I hope we have an opportunity to write him a recommendation for something, because he's really done a good job.
Yeah, we will send him a very nice letter.
And how about an exit interview?
Oh, yeah.
If you'd like. I mean,
You need to have one. Even if Winnett does it, send him over here, if he's willing to do it.
sure. He's not leaving for anything bad, just go to school because
I know.
law school.
I know. But he may have some other comments that.
Want me to come over and leave $5 on the counter and see if he steals it, and we can lock him up and keep him here, and he can teach for the next. I mean, this kid did it. I was over there one day while he was working with him. He was amazing. He had a young lady in there working on her math. I couldn't believe it. He did a superb job.
He did.
We're going to miss him.
Okay, you have something else for us, right? No?
The
That's all it is.
The roof?
The roof, but Commissioner Babson's gonna be sending over somebody else to look at a quote, then mine.
Well, no, I thought your question was, can we use the money from
The roof.
from the building pulling apart to pay for the roof?
Mhm.
That's what I thought you were gonna discuss.
Yep, I asked that last week too, so you guys were gonna also look into that, so.
Well, I blew that one, I didn't look into it,
Yeah, I didn't either.
but we will, I'll make it right now. And what do we have to do? I mean, David, who do we have to check with? I've never been in this situation before.
Well, if we use money that is not approved by the delegation for the purpose that it was meant for, then we're liable. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, except let's go one step farther. How do we get approval? We have to
We
wait
have to
till
go to the
October
delegation.
now and see
We
if,
don't have anybody right now to fix it, right?
I do have one.
Oh, you do?
The one
Yeah,
company
yes, one
I gave you guys
Okay.
last week, Prime Roofing is the only one that
Was that
Yeah.
11,000 or 14,000 or something?
11,000.
11,000? Well, it's money.
$11,452.00 from Prime Roofing Corporation.
How long is that bid good for?
August 31st.
oh, that's good. Another day or two.
I'm pretty sure if I call them, they'll extend it for another month.
No, that won't even do it.
No, the next time the delegation's going to meet, if it's incumbent, David, or are we required to get the? Who
But
answers
see,
this? Who answers this type of question for us? The Association of Counties or what?
Yeah, they could. The only thing that bothers me is that the law says that if they didn't appropriate the money for a particular item, and we, for a refrigerator, and we bought a truck, then we're liable because they didn't approve what it was supposed to be spent for.
So the other option is we let the roof leak and ruin the building.
I just got a question. If it was a
That makes
settlement
sense.
that you guys received because of the wall,
Yeah.
and can it be reasonably stated because of the wall pulling that it might have done something to the roof, can you reasonably say that using that same wall fund would be there to help repair the roof of the damage that might have been done from that? Is that reasonable? The money's already.
I think it's reasonable.
The money's already there. It's not like you're asking taxpayers to come up with
No,
money.
that's right. It was a settlement agreement.
I'm not sure who you asked.
Well, I think we ought to call Betsy Miller first thing we get a break and
Okay.
and find out. I mean, it makes no sense. The building's leaking and we gotta wait another month and a half to get it fixed because we have the money sitting here,
I
but it
guess if
wasn't
we were-
appropriated.
If we were on the ball, we should have brought it up Monday.
Well, we should have.
Okay. Well, we'll look into it further, see if you can get an extension of a month.
I will. I'll give them a call.
Okay, good. Thank you. You got anything else?
Oh, that's it.
We have total population of 50. Transfers, where did they go?
One's a state prison. One is at
Is where?
Rockingham.
Rockingham? Caused by the judge to be separated, or?
Caused by issues that he needed to be out of our facility.
Okay. Okay. Then thank you very much.
Jason, you know.
Yep. He's got some questions.
Well, I'll talk to you later about it. It's about a medical bill from last February that we paid and it hasn't been paid yet, so.
Okay.
Not you, but.
And speaking about that, let me just throw it out there. All medical bills now are going back through Sue Coda, the nursing director, and she's been doing a fantastic job of going back through all the bills and seeing where they were at, if we got our discount we're supposed to get. She just negotiated some other bills, big bills that we had, and it's going back through all of them. So if it's something that hasn't been paid, we can give it back to her and she can track it down and figure out where it's at. She's been backtracking and working with all the hospitals on all those bills.
Would you do this for me when they come through? I had
Put a note on them?
I made some arrangements with 2 or 3 of the hospitals to reduce the bills. When they come through, the problem is you can't tell from some of these bills whether the final amount they're billing is the reduced amount or whether it's the actual billing amount. I mean, some of them, when they come through at $11,000 and you call up and they say, okay, well, we'll take $2,500, you know it hasn't been done. If she knows they're reduced, can she just put a post-them on them and say reduced?
That's what she's doing.
I haven't seen those unless she started this week.
You'll see some that came through as a very big bill. She got reduced by 40%. Sue wrote right on it of the reduction. Any bill that doesn't have a note on it from her, and when I put my signature on it, she's already called, and that is the rate. There will be no more bills. Everything's going through the medical department now. All those bills.
And what we get is what we see is what we get.
Correct. And especially the ones that are reduced, you'll make sure you know that this is really reduced. And some they work all a little different. Some, once they already give us the reduced rate, would just give us the bill with the reduced rate. But she has already called on that bill. Some, you'll see the big bill, and then you'll see what they're willing to take. So it depends.
That's what I'm talking about.
Depends on each one. And so the ones that are coming through that have no reduced rate on it, Sue's already called with them, and that's what it is. And the other ones that a big bill, and you'll see one coming through, and it says right on it, reduced by 40%. They're willing to take this over that, which is a very substantial
on the
savings.
Medicaid or Medicare payments, I can never remember which one is which, but that should be about 28% of what the real bill is. Yeah, is that what she's finding?
Some of it, and some of it's even higher of reduced rate, depending on what they're working on. Like this last one, she got 40% off one of these bills.
So wouldn't give her 28?
Well, you could have taken 28.
Down to 28. The ones I got them, the fee was 28, not
off.
Reduced by 28, but from 100 to 28.
Yeah, some of them, you're talking percentages or just money?
Percentage of the bill.
Correct. Well, like this last one, she got 40% off the bill.
And I'm saying, I would have thought she got 28%,
70,
wait a minute, 72% off of the bill.
No, usually it's 28% off the bill, and then, I believe, correct, not 72%.
I can show you the ones I got. They say the bill should be, it should be 28% of that bill.
Okay. I know you'll see some come through with, and you'll see thousands of dollars of savings in some. In 2 days.
The big one, there's gonna be a lot of bucks.
Well, in 2 days, she saved over $20,000.
Right.
Let's put it that way, in the bills that she had.
Good.
So everything's going through her, and has all the contacts, knows everybody, and that's why it's
Good.
gone back where it needs to be.
So that when we get them, we really don't have to chase them down anymore.
No, and nor do I.
Okay.
Which was a big pile off my desk.
Good.
And Sue speaks the language, so she knows what these tests are, about what they cost, and whether or not they were our offenders when the test was done, if they were done before they came in or after, if it's actually our bill or not. So she's making sure she's tracking it all down through our jail management system, outside of here, and going through every single one of those bills.
Good.
Okay. Anything else? No? All right. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob, you're here for...
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yesterday was the deadline for the domestic hot water exchanger.
Jason, excuse me, Bob,
Yeah.
would you stay a minute? Can we change the subject quickly? And we would like, while Jason's here, we'd like to have you have Mr. Taylor, whatever, Mike Excel,
Yeah, Mike Todd.
Excel.
Todd,
Yeah.
bid on the roofing job that Jason has.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be happy to.
Could you give Jason the information or swap information or whatever you have there?
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. I figure we might as well get them while here.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not a long time ago, but we're still looking at bids.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody bid in the time frame.
Okay, so now you're soliciting.
Correct.
Okay.
Has anybody confirmed that that's actually the law?
What's
That
that?
if you go out for bid and nobody bids, then we can go out and say, hey, we got a job here, would you like to bid it?
I have to go back and look at that. I read it
Then-
over last
Then another
night.
question to ask the Association of Counties today.
That's a good question.
I think it's covered in the RSA. Okay?
Yep.
All right.
I'll
Then thank you,
pass it along.
Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And also, I want to thank, I'd like to thank the House of Corrections for helping us out with our laundry, while our laundry is being
He mentioned
reconstructed. Yes,
He mentioned that today.
they've been nothing but supportive. It's been a great experience so far. We've only been over there a few days, but they've been very supportive of our needs.
Thank you. Nice to see
Good.
everybody working together.
Thank you. Thank you.
With that said, when did they start working on the laundry?
They started tearing into it Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've
What is the
already-
name of the company doing it?
Excel Construction.
It's not, they're the
subcontract.
ultimate contractor.
Yes.
They're the general contractor. Who's the
Yes.
plumber?
I haven't.
You know?
I don't know who they're using for a plumber yet. And they had a demolition company there hauling stuff away, but I didn't recall the name of the demolition company.
Okay.
If you catch a name on the side of a truck for the plumber, might be something good to write down and put in a file somewhere. We may not need it, then again, we may someday.
Yeah, we will, as soon as I meet them. The domestic hot water heat exchanger bid. I spoke to Cheryl yesterday afternoon about 2 o'clock, and as far as I know, we hadn't received any bids.
Right.
Have you heard anything different?
Nope.
Okay. All right. If we had received bids, I was going to ask the commissioners to not act on those bids just yet. There is some further research I want to do on our hot water needs at that laundry.
Yep.
Excuse me, Bob, why?
Because there's some ozone technology that's available for commercial laundries that has the potential for drastically reducing hot water use. Drastically reducing hot water use. And if that's the case, that may be money better spent.
Somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't talk intelligently about it yet because I haven't really researched it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going with little pieces of information that I've gathered in the last week or two.
Okay.
Just exactly how much work is there to put the heat exchanger into the laundry?
Well, you have
35,000 seemed like a lot of money to me.
It is. Well, you've got some big heat exchangers, big pumps. Those are expensive. You've got labor, which is expensive. Control work.
Is it copper
Integrated.
piping or
Yeah, it's copper
steel
pipe.
pipe?
No, it's well, on one side it can be steel, but the other side it's got to be copper. Installation, control work, testing, the labor. It does seem like a lot of money, but when you look at it individually, all the different pieces, it's.
Did you see it break out on the electrician's portion of it?
There's not.
Or did it all come in, as I remember, it was 35,000, but I don't remember.
It's 38,000.
38, breaking it out, where plumbing versus, there's gotta be thermostats and everything else to turn the pumps on.
Yeah, that's
and
all
off.
done through the control work. The electrical work is done through the control company, so there's not really a breakout for an electrician per se. The controls company takes care of all that, but there was a breakout for plumbing, there was a breakout for installation, there was a breakout for the controls, breakout for testing.
The controls being just a physical control, not
Yeah,
the,
to integrate that
not
into
the
the-
wiring or anything else to go along with it.
Well, yeah, the wiring to go along with it too.
Well, that's what I'm asking, was how
Yeah.
expensive was that? Can you remember? I don't remember seeing that.
No, I have it here, you're just gonna have to give me a second to dig it out.
Okay. Do we have the capability with that unit to heat any portion of the jail or all of the jail?
No,
If They have to have their own unit.
Yeah.
Would that require another silo if there was a pellet unit there? Or is there, could you blow them through a pipe to the jail
That'd be too
underground?
far away. You'd be best
Yeah.
off putting.
Best thing, put the silo
up
right
there.
next door to it?
Yeah. I have it in here.
That's something we ought to be looking into,
What's that?
moving to a pellet,
The jail?
just to find out if propane's gonna stay at the price it's at or go up. I mean, at some point, it would almost make sense to have both units so you could go back and forth. Which reminds me, I haven't seen a propane bill for a couple of months. Could that be?
Maybe it's getting pretty low.
It's in here
You
somewhere.
check that.
That's okay, I don't,
Never mind, Bob.
that's something that you
I
can
can come over
find
and see about it.
later. Okay. Do you have anything else?
Just whether we can go ahead with the tear down of A and B wing.
Did you
I
sign
signed
it?
it.
You signed it, and way to go.
I put it on Commissioner Kenny's desk in case she ever shows up.
Okay, so there's 2 signatures on that already, so why don't you pick that up?
Do
Okay.
you need 3 on that, David?
I don't believe so.
2, I would think would do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on her desk, Bob, if you want to get it on the way down.
Okay. I'll ask Kathy to get it for me.
I can understand that.
But that's all.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, what is it that you signed? That-
We signed the contract to do the roof work.
The demolition of
No,
A and B
excuse me,
wing.
the demolition of the 2
Okay.
wings at the jail,
At the nursing home.
at the nursing home, excuse me.
With what contractor?
With
Excel.
With Excel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all the stuff that had been voted on previously. It's just
And
me
the holdup
actually
was the difference
coming
in
back
the
and
roof.
getting the signature after the delegation approved the funding.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, under work session, compensation. I think we need to reconsider compensation for those people who are required. I know we passed a motion that anybody stepping up to the next level would not get any increase. But where we have, I think we could make an exception so that where the law states that we need to have or is required to have that position filled, then we should compensate them for it. Any discussion on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I was the one that pushed, or I guess along with Commissioner Kenny, that we thought it was a bad idea that when you step into the job that you got paid for it. She was right 2 or 3 years ago when she said it would come back to bite us, and it did. And we came up with that policy, but since then, in talking with HR and others, it seems to me that if we have a required position by statute, that we ought to make the exception that that person gets paid the rate or a higher rate. I'm not sure we ought to talk about compensation. I'm
Yeah.
not sure that someone stepping in with limited experience should get the same that maybe somebody's been here 15 or 20 years doing the job.
Right.
But certainly we ought to revamp our policy to pay those that are required the step-up money.
So how should we handle that?
Well,
Have a range based on their experience?
yeah,
You want to consider this at another time, once we come up with some kind of a...
well, no, we've
range?
got to consider it at another time, but we ought to, maybe We have a Association of County meeting coming up next Friday. Maybe that would be on a new business, a good topic to ask what other counties do, what their policies are.
Okay.
There's all 10 of them there, and at least a commissioner or more from each one of them. That might be a good topic.
Can I
Okay.
ask for clarification? Excuse me, can I ask for clarification what positions are required by statute?
DON, superintendent of the jail.
Superintendent of the nursing home.
Okay, thank you.
All right, the next item that I'd like to, we need to start working on the union contracts. I would recommend, if he is available, that we have Attorney Clausen to represent the county in negotiations and union contracts. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. What I think the discussion should be is whether any member of the board is part of the negotiating team.
Well, let's handle this one.
It wasn't the last time.
Let's handle that. Let's handle the attorney first.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we employ Counselor Clausen to handle our negotiations with the unions that are coming up this year. And it's a one-year contract for the nursing home. It was a 1 year for the sheriff.
What do you mean? 1 year?
The length of the contracts that we just...
Yes, all 3 contracts are due this year.
And our goal is to get a longer contract.
Yep.
Multiple.
Yep.
Do we want to stagger
I'll second
them?
the motion.
Okay.
For
To
attorney.
discussion, okay.
Offer
Okay.
offer the job to Attorney Clausen, since he's done it in the past. We were satisfied with what he did. So, any further discussion on that? All those in support of the motion say aye.
All right.
Aye, and so voted. Now, your point was, whether a county commissioner should be on the, I think it should.
Well, that was one thing, and the other thing is what you brought up, what we said. Are we going to shoot for longer contracts?
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to shoot to stagger them, or are we going to shoot for all 3 of them being the same year down the road?
I think we need multiple contracts.
That's another question I'd ask at the Association of Counties, how other counties have found working out staggered or multiple staggered or multiple the same year. And there's got to be some history on these things somewhere.
Remember, Attorney Clausen said that when we raised that question, he said that, well, if I come up here for a day, I can meet with one union in the morning and one union in the afternoon. It would be nice to get at least 2 of those staggered, so that we don't have them coming up at the same time. 2 out of the 3.
I don't want to be
Otherwise, we're going to
penny
have...
wise and pound foolish. We might end up with staggered contracts and having to, on the end of one, having such an increase that the next year, oh, look what they got last year, and we've got this thing rolling in the wrong direction. So, I guess we approved Tom. Why don't we talk? We're going to be talking to him shortly. Why don't we ask him what his experience has been in setting up multiple contracts?
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense that at least 2 of them would end the same because he's here. But is it really? On the surface, it looks good.
Okay, do we have anything else to bring up under work session?
I don't.
Okay.
Reports?
Do you have any reports?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just want to confirm that what Jason said, or Superintendent Henry said, I attended the
Safety Day?
Safety Day. Representative Ticehurst attended the Safety Day. I think it was, my own opinion is they could have done a little better job marketing it, letting people know that they were having it. They certainly have every piece of equipment I ever saw was there, and they did a great job. The dog thing was really quite something.
How many communities participated, do you know?
Yep, the Molten Borough. I don't want to sell anybody short, but there was Molten Borough, Freedom, Madison, Ossipee. Boy, I can't remember where I saw. Effingham was there. I can't remember whether were you there too? You didn't. Did you show? I missed you.
I was leaving as you were coming in. Yeah,
Oh.
I was there.
Have I missed anybody?
West Ossipee.
Well, I said Ossipee, the great town of Ossipee, that takes in them all. There was Ossipee Village, West Ossipee, and Center Ossipee.
Fishing game.
Oh yeah, fishing game.
So this is fire departments, police departments, fishing game.
Ambulance companies were here.
Yeah, that's right. Ambulance companies. They did a really nice job.
Good.
The
Anything-
kids had that. The little kids that were had a wonderful time. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
chance for them to scramble over everything.
Okay, any other reports?
I reported the cooperative extension the week before.
Yep.
Nope, I guess that's it.
Okay. Then we'll go to public input. Anybody for, yes, Mr. Brown.
Can you clarify step up, please?
Clarify what?
Step up?
Step up.
You were just talking about step up under compensation?
Yeah.
You,
What we have done in the past, well, we had passed a motion that somebody who moves up to another level to replace somebody that maybe on vacation or the position is vacant, we made a motion that they wouldn't get any additional compensation. They would get what they were receiving at the lower level. What we're saying is there are some people that we have to have a position filled. It's a requirement by state law. There's only a couple of them. But when we fill that gap, we should compensate them for it because they now have additional responsibility. Does that clarify it for you?
yeah. I was just wondering, you weren't talking about accrued time.
No, we're talking about two positions right now. One is the DON, and the other one is superintendent of the jail.
The difference between the two positions. The money between the two positions.
Between what they're presently getting and what that higher level position is getting. And we're going to have to come up with some kind of a range.
Policy?
Yeah, a range of what those positions should be based on the experience of the person filling that lower position. Okay?
Have to come up with a policy for that.
We have a policy. All we have to do is amend it.
Our policy right now is not to pay them. And it would continue that way except for those that are required to be filled. Any other public input?
Well, I'll make a motion that we, well, it's early, isn't it? I guess, what do?
Well, we're gonna have to-
recess until 10 o'clock and then go into non-public session?
I would like to get Lynette in here to get through her non-public, because she must be available unless she's got somebody coming in that I don't know about.
Thank you, Ed.
I don't know what that non-public is about.
And 11 o'clock, the non-public is that also in that?
She would be involved in it.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, what we didn't do was, will a commissioner be on the negotiating team?
Oh, we didn't do that, did we?
No.
Okay.
I'd make a motion that we have a commissioner on the negotiating team.
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay.
Why?
Why? Because a commissioner can help negotiate the wages in particular. The department head, such as the sheriff's department or the jail or the nursing home, they could be on the management team as far as changes in management. But I think the commissioner ought to be on for changes in wages.
David,
I think
you've
the
been
commissioner
there before,
has-
I haven't. If, for instance, you're the member of the negotiating team for the nursing home,
Yeah.
during negotiations over a period of however long it takes, it seems like forever, but if it's 3 months, are you able to come back in and tell the other two members, in an interim basis as you go along,
If
what's
there's a,
happened, or
if
is
there's
that
a
gotta
te-
be kept secret?
if there's a tentative agreement, yes.
So
And
you
some
can't
items-
come back in here and say, this week we discussed a 2.5% raise, the union wants 5, we're only willing to give 1, and I think we're squeezing them down to 4%. You can't come back and report that kind of thing. You have to wait till it's a full
A tentative agreement.
tentative
However,
agreement.
I would hope that, like the delegation, and they're gonna be late, I think, waiting for the next meeting to discuss where we should go. I think the commissioners need to come up with something prior to negotiating as to how much we think the wages should be.
Oh, I agree with that. I would think that we arm ourselves as soon as possible and get the thing going, because they have a
Yep.
way of dragging out.
Yep.
And then if we have to cross swords with the delegation on the 10th of October or whenever they think is an early starting date, then we want to be done by the 1st this year before we put our budget
We
in.
want to be done by the middle of November.
Yep, so we can put it in our budget.
I think the other thing of having a commissioner on there would move things along. I don't know what the hangup was in the past as to why things didn't move along. I suspect the attorneys that were negotiating were tied up with other counties, they had their schedule filled up, and therefore delayed ours. And I would hope that because of the delegation wanting to get this done, and I want to get it done, the Board of Commissioners wants to get it done, I think having a commissioner on there would be supportive of that and move it along.
Okay, couple of double advocate questions. Why wouldn't, we're using the same line of thinking, wouldn't we have one member of the delegation against the law?
Well, that's a good question.
I mean, ultimately, they've got to make the decision whether what we've done is,
They have no input as far as what our budget is going into Concord by the 1st of December.
that's correct.
Their input and their voting is something
Up
like
until
28
March.
days after. They can't do anything within 28 days after the hearing. And from then on to the 1st of April, then they negotiate and approve or disapprove. So now I wouldn't think a delegation member would be on it.
Okay. Another question. Have you ever seen in doing this any friction between having a commissioner who supposedly is running the operation where these people are working on the negotiating board?
I have not. The problem that I have found is that when you have the department head on the management team, he or she is caught in a position whereby they want to do all they can for the people that work for them,
And they're paid by the taxpayer.
and they're paid by the taxpayer, but yet they're on a management team, and they need to understand that, hey, once a percentage increase is set, they can't go against that, or they can't, they need to support that. Let's put it that way. I find it difficult for them to be on there, because if they speak saying that, well, yes, we'll settle for 1%, and then their employees think that they're not getting the support from their boss.
I think there's another rub in an elected official being a member of the management team that's going to have to abide by the contract, as the sheriff is, for example, or a Howie Chandler who's employed by us
Yeah.
and works. I think that's another little bit of friction. But I definitely think I would go along with the commissioner on the. But I also have some other questions.
Okay.
We're going into a new elections cycle. Let's say I lose and Commissioner Kenney isn't running, and you have 2 new commissioners. Are you willing to be the member of the negotiating team for all 3 unions?
I guess it has to, because of the situation that you just explained. I'm going to be here for another 2 years, and if the negotiating doesn't get accomplished between the 1st of December and when the delegation meets, you're right, we could have 2 new commissioners, and somebody needs to have some consistency. Other than that, I'd be glad to have somebody else do it.
Well, should we
You got
add
any
to
other
your
questions?
should we add to your motion that something to the effect that if the commissioner has been a member of the board, or has been I mean, let's say Dottie Solomon gets elected. She certainly could be qualified to sit on, for whatever department, because she's been a commissioner. Should we put some stipulation in there that if you're new at it, you can't be the brand new, never having held a commissioner's seat, you cannot be a member of the
Okay, the problem, using her as an example, the problem is she's not in on the negotiating team up until the 1st of December. She would come on until January. So she doesn't know what has happened in the past.
Yeah, that's a good
Saying
point.
that the negotiations stagnate and don't get approved until after our budget is in. I would say that in the future, any commissioner that is being carried over for the following year, that person be considered to be on that committee.
Okay. Okay.
So whoever, your term is up for 4 years, so if we can get a multiple contract for 2 years, then whoever fills your position would be the next one to go on the negotiating team. They would have 2 years' experience.
Is it necessary to put that in the
No.
motion? I don't think so. Why don't we just leave it, and a commissioner will be a member of the negotiating team?
Okay. All right. I guess that's settled.
Did you get that motion?
Yes?
Okay,
Are you
good.
voting on it?
Yes.
All those in support of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So voted then. The commissioner will be on the negotiating team. Okay, let's move on to the next item. We've gone through public input. We're now at the point of non-public. Lynette, do you have anything for public? No. Okay. before we go into non-public, I would suggest that you take the matrix survey and go through that and write up a document as to some of those things that not necessarily pertain to your department, and also what corrective actions can be taken to follow up on the matrix survey. As the delegation said on Monday, we need to get a report in. We got a month to do it. I think there are some things that we can do fairly quickly, and then there are other things that are going to have to, as Mr. Pennington said, we're not going to be able to do it overnight. In fact, he said years in some cases, but I think such things as looking at job descriptions, I think is if we have a policy that we can look at 10 or 12 a year, just to update them, especially those that are being refilled. I think that could be easily put in writing, so that we can move ahead, and I will do some work on that as well. So I don't have anything else for public. I would then make a motion. Do you have anybody coming in at 10 o'clock? I mean, can we do a non-public now, or do we have to wait?
We have someone coming over.
What's that?
We have someone coming over. Howie Chandler was asked to be at this one also.
Okay. Is he available?
I don't know.
I would move that we go into non-public under RSA 91A3, paragraph 2, A and C.
Seconded.
Seconded. For discussion, I think we should recess until he gets here, but we'll be ready to go when he does get here.
Agreed.
Okay?
Yep.
All those in, roll call?
Commissioner Sorensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Babson?
Yes.
Thank you. We're now in non-public.
9:37.
Thank you. Okay, we're back in regular session, public session. We seal the minutes of both
Sections.
yeah, what's the,
Right there, Dave.
you got it?
And there's the
All
first
right.
one, and there's the second one.
All right, we seal the minutes of non-public under RSA 91A3, paragraph 2, A and C. We also seal the minutes of the non-public meeting under RSA 91A3, paragraph 2. By vote of the Board of Commissioners individually.
Both votes were unanimous.
And it was unanimous. Anything else?
Nope.
Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay, then I would hear a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And so voted.
149.